Right, good evening and welcome. We've got Skilly joining us somewhere. I've got to find him. Where are you, Skilly? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jed. Are you okay?
I've got to bring you into the
Can you see
screen.
me?
Yeah, let's get the technical stuff sorted. So, how do I do this? We've got a bit of Skilly. Oh, I'm all getting confused. So, Skilly's there. We're just poised. I've just got to push the right buttons. But, Skilly, you can start off and talk whilst I work it all out. What did you think? The final? The climax? It was nearly a runaway game.
Absolutely fantastic. I think, I was looking at it on Sunday morning. I wasn't going down in the morning. I was going down for the afternoon, and it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're thinking, oh, it's all going to be done. Fantastic fight back by PJ to keep it alive. I think obviously Johnny came out the winner in the end. It's an interesting thing. You could talk for hours about it because they went out in the second round and there were 6 holes in the middle, which were fascinating from 4 through to 10, which the whole game could have gone either way. So, okay, morning went how it was. I think John was 3 up. I think 4, PJ 3 putted. 5 was another one that kind of just seemed to be ebbing in John's favour.
That was the drop from the bush, wasn't it?
I found it. I'd literally
Yes.
turned up. I walked up the path and I watched it coming straight at me. And then he wiped his next one out, wiped a provisional out of bounds. So he 7 in the face. Found it. Nobody gets up and down from that tee box or that path when you drop it. Played an ace chip down, knocked it in. Again, PJ 3 putted. After 2 awesome shots up there, his second shot was just superb. And then 6, John turned 5 into 4, 1-7, 1-8, and just a little spell around the middle of the course in the second round. I think it could have gone all square, it could have gone 6 up, just in different things and fine margins in any final. To get that far, you've got to be playing great. But Ace of John won it. Great week for PJ. Really good week for PJ. Corky, quite possibly after Blade, the most popular man in Manx golf. But nobody would ever not raise a glass to Corky for winning it this weekend. Absolutely superb.
Smooth as you like, and that moment when PJ he knocked it on 12 on the second lap, canned the eagle, and then on 13 he stiffed it to a foot, and for me that was the magic moment of the week in many ways because he was still fighting and he'd been fighting all day. I mean, did you see the commando rolls he was doing before he started his second lap? Because he got Johnny on the back, second lap. I think father had been...
I think Father got sacked after first time probably Philip Vermeulen's been sacked in his life, but it took an hour on Sunday. But yeah, Johnny came in and, PJ, he was, well, look at him, just look at his specimen. He's a big, strong guy. I'm not surprised. I was doing a few warm-ups and I felt thinking, I'm 15 years behind this fella here. What a part he's played in the week.
Yeah.
Breakout star.
Yeah.
I just hope that PJ actually goes on and plays a bit more golf at other places now. Hidden secret. Come down to the Kirkpatrick. Let's go around. It doesn't matter if you shoot a pair of 80s. But get involved. He's seen that there's good guys. Don't just play the town. Get involved. Isle of Man Golf is begging for people who are good. And we need people in county teams. We need them in Island Games team. And if you're good enough, you're in. And that's I'd say that to the likes of Doyler, who's getting better. He's down to 1.6 or 1.7 now. Fenlon, Young Tommy again, the two housewives' favourite from the week. These are the guys, we need them to kick on and get it done.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Now, we talked just before we came on air about the Dawson achievement, really. The cousins played in the final, and I think really, you know them well, you know the family history. You seem to be averse with it, and it must have been pleasing, not just for you, but for everyone.
Oh, definitely, and I think there's a lot of people should be pleased. Peter Dawson, grandfather, captain of Rowney, captain of Peel as well. It's not something that happens very often, and I believe Peter actually played Rowney again for the first time in about 20 years a few months ago. Obviously, Robin and Kelvin. Kelvin's a mate of mine and has been since we were like 13, 14 years old and played footy together. Robin, great guy. Robin, Joanne, Kelvin and Marie, lovely family. The whole wide thing. And the focus is on, obviously, Kelvin's girls, Anna and Leah. Anna's been away at uni, came back, but didn't play the championship because she's gone to the UK to play a bit of quarantine to be able to play in county, various events before she goes back to the States. Leah's due to go to whatever university that Anna's at. I'm struggling now. But they're to go.
Missouri or Memphis. Memphis it is.
And so they don't know when that's going to start. They're looking at visas. And obviously Kelvin's had a few issues this year. It's lovely to see him down there. Wish him well after the operation and the ongoing treatment. And I think just purely for me, Kelvin and Marie, all the problems this year, so proud to see Leah win it. Robin and Joanne, tell Kaylee never to change. Her attitude on the golf course is just incredible. It's like she's just out wandering around playing 9 holes on her own. I watched her come off the road hole on Sunday afternoon, having lost the hole, to go a couple down, and she gave 2 people a hug, shook hands with somebody, and then remembered that she had to hit a tee shot. Don't ever change. Her time will come. I know she's missed a couple of years, but brilliant, absolutely superb, and it's nice in a championship that the 2 best players in the field got to a final. Probably Leah will never play it again. If she gets to the States, other commitments will surpass that, and the door will open up for Kaylee to put her name on the trophy again. But Kelvin, Marie, couldn't be more proud for you. Robin, Joanne, superb. And the girls, absolutely wonderful.
Lovely, heartwarming story for the week, and a huge turnout crowd-wise for the final. A great day, but what puzzled me was, cool as you like, smartly dressed. Corky didn't drop anything all week, seriously, and then we've got this. I'll try and introduce some film. Here we go. So you can't see it. So he picks up the trophy, crashes to the ground. He's only got it in hands for seconds, and that week, or that weekend, we had Aubameyang dropping the FA Cup. So a bit of an omen that weekend, really.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? You're entitled to drop it if it's yours.
Well, we'll never know, will we? We'll never know.
You won't.
Oh, I know that for sure. So, any other highlights?
Kevin always says there's always next year.
I know, but I mean, what a week he had. He was shanking on the first round, wasn't he? Who did he get?
Sorry,
Kevin Moore.
Yeah, Kevin struggled. Kevin's funny thing. I've been watching the way that Kevin's going about it at the minute. I know the way that Kevin works, and I know the way that his mind works, and he's kind of probably gone, I've been a bit idle. put his name on the Kirkpatrick Trophy.
Ah.
Because the Kevin Moore mentality is, I am better than what I've just given where I should be. And he'll be up there.
Well, come down to Rowney at the end of the month. I think it's the 30th of August, so we'll have a course pristine for you at the end of the week. So before we just wrap up...
As Scott Taylor said, they've got the best fairway in the Isle of Man. On the 13th at Castletown, at Rowney. Tom Kay's old famous quote, best fairway in the Isle of Man, that boys, best fairway in the Isle of Man. Pity it's a par 3, Tom.
it's at the Garden of Eden, they call it. But the Tom Kay legacy lives on. There's some of these, they're like triffids on the 4th, if you're familiar. So it's turned it into a right decent dogleg now. So look out, because of course, Rowney, standard scratch 69 is tougher than many courses to play to your handicap. But let's not go there at the moment, eh, Richie? So anything else to wrap up with for the championship before we move on to Scratch League?
Did I cover off Corky and Gemma?
Oh yeah, go on. I mean, we all love a love story, don't we? A happy ending, and what a lovely couple they are.
Happy ending? You've been on holiday with some? No, I won't go there. Corky and Gemma. I think I may have said before what should have been a big year. Wedding and everything. Did I talk about that before?
No. It's not been broadcast.
It should have been a big year. They've, obviously lockdown killed that, and what should have been a race year for them has finally turned out to be a good year. With Corky winning this, and I remember playing Scratch League with Johnny, and he just said to me one day, walking up the 11th, it was a bank holiday weekend, and he went, Rico, about 8-9 years ago, he went, I've pulled a worldie. I went, okay, John, what do you mean? He went, this girl is way too good for me. I went, what do you mean? He went, my standards here, her standards should be up here. She's way out of my league. And then 8-9 years later, me and Jamie O'Neill have obviously got the same postman because I didn't get an invite. But it's lovely to see that obviously what's followed through, and the fact that in what should have been a couple of months ago, the couple getting married and whatever and everything going on, poor years turn into a great year, and I'm sure when they do celebrate the wedding later in this year, if they can, it'll be ace to have the trophy there.
Oh, that's great. So the future Mrs. Cork. Look ahead to years of having Saturdays alone. Anyway, we can move on. We can move on to the Scratch League, which we had the semi-finals last night. But Port St Mary also got a game, didn't they? Down at Barnesville, the Barnesville Country Club. I've had a look at the scores. You see, it's quite difficult to make out the scores because they always write it down on a scrappy bit of paper, does Chad, the captain down there. You always get a hand job down in Port St Mary, and it's so difficult to distinguish who won. But Barnsley won, Andrew Horn, Chad and the Gandys, and it was a thrashing of King Edward Bay. So it's Port St Mary go to Peel, I think, on Monday for the plate game.
I think they do, yeah. Let me just double check my phone. Here he is. I do have, as per usual, my early vote for Golf Pirate TV Captain of the Scratch League award. Scratch League Captain of the Year must go to Ben Watson. I think he's overcome a bit of early season adversity, controversy. People not wanting to play, people wanting to play, people coming back, bringing in new blood, bringing in over 70s. He's had to deal with an awful lot. So that's my early call for the Golf Pirate TV Captain's Award of the Year. He could probably hang it on the wall next to his Douglas Kitchen of the Year 2017 award corner of Albany Road and Saltfair Road, absolutely superb. You want to see it?
Is it?
I wouldn't want to give anything away.
Okay.
He's under the blue pot.
Right. Okay. He's a nominee
said,
anyway for the end of season awards. Is Ben, one of a great name for a golfer as well. Is Ben. So we had,
his latest quote. Dear Mr. Skillicorn, a pleasure to play down at the port last night. Unfortunately, the result didn't go our way, as have many, in brackets all, haven't this season, but we'll group and go again next year. Great to see young Ben Kelly give the Sheikh Barnes a scare last night, just couldn't quite finish him off. Good luck, don't know what it means by that. Good luck to Chad and team in the final of the plate. Best wishes, Ben.
Good lads, we like both of those teams, but we'll move on to your game, which was the semi-final, of course, at the top end, and it was all scripted for Douglas to breeze through and snatch it out of Mount Murray's hands in the final. So what went wrong? You're playing at
terrible,
home.
Really.
You're playing at home. Strong team out.
Fair play, Jez. We did a good side, yeah. Jez mixed it up. He mixed up his order. I think Skilly went 1-6 as he would normally do. I don't really think that had an effect. Who did we win? Robbie Noon beat Lewis.
Yeah.
Which tight as well. So 3-2. If you're going to take Rob Noon to 16, 17 holes, that's fair due for Lewis. Like I say, I got what might appear an easy result against Lewis in the first round of the Champs. He's good.
Oh, he's strong.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
If he'd played 4, 5, 6 down the draw, Lewis probably would probably have won because Rob on a Monday night round pull, he's going to be 3, 4 under. The rest of us were absolute pants. I got beat by Liam. All right, actually. But Moot got beat. Pete and I got beat. There's hold our hands up and say, yeah, Castletown came down, gave us an absolute pasting. Do you know what? It's not often you stand in the car park and you hear Peter Glover give somebody any praise.
No.
And Peter Glover stood in the car park and he went, is he 62 or 63, Steve Jeffers? I went, I don't know, but he's a lot older than you are, Peter. And he went, he was brilliant.
Yeah. He's class. He's got a great pedigree behind him and a great attitude as Sevi.
Great pedigree. And like over the years when Glover says, I've never played with him.
Yeah.
I never thought he was that good. He went, oh yeah, he is. And he has been. And you remember the year that you used to have to walk to the fourth green at Rowney when the Port Aaron Cup and then all the trophies were in his back window?
Aye. Well, he's a great guy, and the way he hits the golf, the way he hits the golf club against his golf bag, against the bunker, into the ground, and then throws it through the air is something to behold.
Ireland record holder for the most 9 irons broken, Steve Jeffers. So yeah.
Top guy, but yeah. So no big game for you next week, and there's no third and fourth place playoff. I'm pleased to say. I think that'd be stretching it out too much. And of course, we had a little adventure up to Mount Murray, and I must say, Mount Murray, I've not played there for a long time, and it's much easier to play. The rough has gone, the greens are A1, absolutely perfect, and the fairways for chipping and everything. I couldn't believe how good the course was. I felt enriched until we had the playoff between Mr. Lowy and DC, who apparently caddied for Jonathan Cork in the final. Apparently, I only heard.
Imagine getting let down. Imagine putting a photographer out for your playoff. What's that about? You've got an Ireland champion who's 11 on the bounce getting beat, and he's just come off his first win. You've got Sutton, looks $1 million, 11 games on the bounce, defeated. He's bouncing. He's got his first point in probably 4.5 years, and then you put Lowy out.
It did cross my mind. It did cross my mind because the pieman came in. The pieman came in.
Take the guy with the energy and send him out down there. You'd have been home before it was dark instead of scratching around down the third.
Well,
I was your man last night. I may have slagged him off all this series and like this series, like we're going to get a next one and we're commissioned. I
was your man last night. I don't think it was scripted in that fairy tale because Pie was just getting a little bit rocky against Joe Rayside, who's got a degree in golf management, who just managed to get home. And maybe the delay, because like Lowy finishes his games way before anyone else. Maybe he did get a bit cold, but the opportunity was there on the second extra hole. There was that pitch and both ended up short. And then there it went. Our dreams drifted into the mangoes on the third hole. And Darryl, well, he didn't get a mention in the thank you speech off Corky when the trophy was lifted, but he's booked a place against Castletown, maybe, for a bit of revenge, a head-to-head against his man, Corky. Who knows? But check it out next week.
Yeah, final will be good. Final will be good. It's... do you know what? Without sounding remiss about it, I was actually thinking I would love to have seen Rowney get to the final because over the years, and you know, Darryl's got the Pep Guardiola about him at the minute. He's just like plucking them from here, going like the Ireland champion will have Peel number one. Well, you're off one, but you only shot 2 over. You're not in. He's got that luxury of picking a star squad. That's absolutely brilliant. Like, I've been involved at Pully when I've been in that. But I just thought, with us getting beat, you know, Douglas have had the reputation of always winning it.
Yeah.
And I always mock Harrison to that. He's like, he said, I've never won a scratch league medal. I said, you can have 15 of mine. You know, that's how blasé we have been over the years about it when we had Wilson and Ash and me and Lang and Moore and everybody. Relentless, and it was always like that. You know, who's finishing second, same time next year, and it's nice to be up against it and see other people being competitive and wanting to win it. But we'll see how it goes. I just, like I say, it would have been lovely to see Rowney in the final.
I know, and you mentioned football managers. I hope you're not comparing me to Steve Bruce because I've put on a bit over lockdown, so it's.
I did have a thought of it. Think about this before. I think you're more Alan Partridge. You know.
I think I'm more Alan Partridge. There we go.
Not Steve Bruce. I was trying to think who it was. Keep going.
Well. I mean, we could bring Jez Bradley into what football manager would he be? What would he be? That's a tough one, isn't it? Carlo Ancelotti. Ancelotti. He's got that sort of look about him, hasn't he?
He's a safe bet, Jez. He's a safe bet. Who's taken over at Middlesbrough? Everyone hates him.
Right.
I'm gonna have to. I think I can't put my name on it. First thing I've forgotten all series.
Put your comments in the box if you're watching. Excellent. Right, I think we're coming up to half an hour, so I think that's it, really, Richie. This weekend, anything coming up?
I'll play Douglas. I'm off this week. I'm building a shed tomorrow. Nothing much. Do you know what? Championship gave me a bit of impetus, and I've actually been and hit a few balls this week. And I thought maybe I should have done that beforehand and not after.
Yeah.
So if you want to sum up the championship for me, a couple of things I want to run through.
Go on.
Stars of the week for me. Obviously, take the final out because Corky's ace. PJ breakout star. I hope the Castletown and the Golf Union can look each other in the face now and think that they're not adversaries. They can move on and make good because it's the best golf course by a mile. I'd be happy to play the championship there every time, just purely because it's the best golf course. I know it has to go round, and there's no denying that. They maybe put their head over the fence and gone, yeah, lots of good people around, ace. Scratch League, fair play to everybody that's been involved to get it done this year. Thanks to the golf courses for giving us a bit of courtesy. Thanks to everybody who's put on a bit of food. I think your boys have, Port St Mary have. We've got the final coming up. It'll be well supported, and hopefully, Jed, we don't have to do this again too more often.
Well, I've just had a comment pop up saying that you need a wet room in that shed, Skilly. So I don't know what relevance that has, but if you're looking for any ideas...
I do know that, and that's because that must be either a Matty Ast or a Chad Wilby comment.
I can't. Maybe you can look on the comments later on, but no, it's been good fun, and I think if we can maybe
I'll go full kitchen.
Oh my word! Look at that.
And there's the clock. The thing you didn't like, so
back at the surgery. No, absolutely fantastic, Rich. And maybe we'll just have. I might take the camera down to the final at Mount Murray, see what's going on, do a bit of reporting, because we did get quite a lot of views from the championship, and it kind of spreads the word and creates a bit of energy about the Scratch League, because you think it was almost dying a few years ago, wasn't it? And
it was, and there seemed to be went around the block of people going like, we want this format, that format, and there were so many voices involved, and everybody wanted this and wanted that. And this year, it's a little bit like the championship. You've got to get it done in a year where nothing is usual. And we just went, okay, let's just go 6 again, and we'll play it.
Yeah.
And it's worked. And that's the kind of thing. I know we had a chat about it, and that's what prompted some of this, to try and get a bit of interest going. But that's what prompted it. 6 people, go and play. Best team wins.
Well,
and
go
on. It brings it back to listening on Sunday, people talking about championship formats and things like that. Okay, this year's a different year. To me, next year I think you need to go back to 36 and then 16. Is my opinion. I think we're at Santon next year. We're at Mount Murray.
Jamie's home club.
Fighting Tom.
Jamie's home club.
Yeah.
But
he's nailed on. He's nailed on in great now. But Joe, I think you go. What this year has shown is there are little changes that could be made. You don't need to go begging for 81 entries or 89 entries. Just go 64, 36 qualifiers and get it done, because it's a long day on the Saturday. Do they need to beg for another 20 more people paying 30 quid? 64 entries, 36, lowest handicaps are in, and rattle it through from there. Jed, we've played in it when it's been like 7:10 in the morning just to try and cram them in. It doesn't need to happen. I think commercially, the Castletown Championship this year has shown there's a lot of people with a lot of clout who could be involved. Not in a small way, not in a nationally way, that the sponsors are there.
Yeah.
That maybe just need to go, hang on, golf on the Isle of Man is good again.
It is, and it's growing, and we've got these new players.
Pigeonhole people, but you see Steve McGowan's who's backed this league down there fantastically.
Yeah.
People like that set an example. And then you see just like a Roger Rackover walking up the fairway, and you go, hang on, should we just tap microgaming just for a local competition? We're not talking mega budgets, Come on, let's get onto it. And that's where I think we need to be.
Well,
start the grassroots again, and let's just build it locally.
Well, the thing is, the image has changed, the audience has changed. We've got new golfers. We've got a lot of young people in their 20s who'll be aspiring to play in the championship next year, and they'll want a piece of that, and they'll even want to play in Scratch League, because I can see at Douglas they'll be looking at these old players, these old farts who are like living on past results, past history, guys in the late 40s, 50s, and they'll say, they'll be saying, I want some of that, I can beat him. That's why these guys, they're booking lessons with your local pros. You speak to the likes of Alan, Charlie, and others, that they're getting inundated with tuition bookings, which is fantastic, isn't it?
Oh yeah. O'Reilly's the same. Paul O'Reilly's the same. Mike talks about it, but I think it's funny when you mention that. I think actually the biggest boom sport post lockdown is golf.
Yeah,
it's incredible. That's where we need to capitalise on it. And anybody, if they have a bit of influence and could have a bit of input, a little goes a long way. It doesn't cost a lot to sponsor a competition. And this is what we always try and push at Pulley. Sponsor a competition Golf Week is 250 quid. We're not talking many kind of things. So.
Well, speaking of which, just before we sign off, it's my Captain's Day on Saturday. The sunshine is booked all day. We'll have a little bar on the 8th, and there's a Captain's Challenge where you can make a donation to the charity Cruise Isle of Man and try and take me on as I outdo you in hitting the ball closer to the pin with a hickory club. And there's a few games on during the day, so we'll give that a whirl.
I've just been actually going to pull you on that. What time am I out?
Whatever time you want. There's a guest spot for you, Ricardo. Whatever
message
you
me.
want.
Time I play.
Whatever you want. Come down. In fact, that can go out to all the Scratch Leaguers playing. I've got a few slots, so just give us a shout. We'd love to see you down there. Bring some pals from Douglas and beyond, and it'd be great to come down and have a bit of fun and a pint after, because if you beat me on the challenge, you get a free pint of Holt's finest ale. Peter Holt, Barman of the Year quarter-finalist 1992 in Hawkshead. He's an absolute legend down round there.
And Matthew Astl's buggy will be parked at the gate.
That's right. 17 bottles of cider.
Remember that one.
Roger. Okay, right. We'll wrap it up. We'll speak again, and thank you everyone for watching and putting the comments in the box. I don't know who these people are. Kudoom, Andy C, Doodle D. Far and wide, the audience is growing. So we'll finish off with a bit of Darryl.
We've got all far from Kirk Michael to Ronick.
Universal.